Hello, my name is Juuso Parviainen and I'm from UNESCO Youth Newsroom. We are reporting from the National Library of Riga about the World Press Freedom Day. Peter Greste, on December 2013 you were arrested by Egyptian authorities, but now you are here at Riga celebrating the World Press Freedom Day. Congratulations for that. What are your feelings right now?
Look, I'm delighted to be here. Obviously, one of the big things that's concerned me is the whole bigger issue of press freedom, not just what happened to us in Egypt, but around the world. And so to have this forum, to have these opportunities to discuss and talk about these issues, to raise people's awareness of the problem is really important. And I'm just really delighted to have that opportunity.
Okay. You have talked a lot about the imprisonment in Egypt, so let's focus on something else for a while. You have said that the war on terror is being used as an excuse by governments to limit press freedom. Why do you think this way?
Well, I think what's happening is that governments, quite rightly, are very concerned about security. People are concerned about security, particularly given events like the Charlie Hebdo attacks, given the kind of threat the threats that the war on terror has raised. But I think what's happening is that governments are using very draconian legislation that has a very insidious effect on press freedom. There's a lot of targeting of internet security, for example, of metadata in Australia, of whistleblowing in the United States. And although this is intended to try and improve national security, what it's doing is that it's making it harder for journalists to do their jobs. It's making it very difficult for us to interrogate and question the issues around security, around the government's behaviour. And in effect, by default, it's shutting down the space that we're able to work in. And what we're in danger of doing is arriving at a situation where we throw out the very things that make our societies free and safe, the kind of open discussions that a free media allows. And so we need to be very careful that if we use that kind of security legislation, we don't, in the process, damage freedom of speech.
And what should we do about that?
I think we need to keep talking about it. We need to put pressure on governments not to go that route. But more importantly, we need to make sure that the public understands the consequences of this kind of legislation, because the governments are, particularly in democratic societies, is responsive to public opinion. If the public says, no, this is a step too far, we need to make sure that we have a free press to keep the very foundations of our free society open, then I think we're in a much stronger position.
Reported and filmed by Juuso Parviainen and Tommi Kolehmainen for Youth Newsroom at UNESCO World Press Freedom Day 2015.